Well, I've had this incredible chance in my life to make movies that aren't just movies, but also engage audiences in different ways. With Inconvenient Truth and Waiting for Superman, there's no better feeling than to tell a good story, but also that invigorates people. Girls all over the world respond to this movie really well, connect to this idea that speaking up is a vital part of their lives. I know it affects my own daughters. When they see this movie, it touches them. I want people to see Malala as an ordinary girl. Like, she and her father lived in this very small town, and they were confronted with a very difficult choice, whether to speak out for what they believed. And they did that, and that's what made them extraordinary. They weren't any different than you and me.
Tonight, Malala remains in intensive care.
She was shot in the head for daring to suggest girls should go to school.
The theme of the movie is about how an ordinary person can find their voice and how powerful you can be if you express that.
I tell my story not because it is unique, it is the story of many girls.
I have two daughters, and their schools are safe. Malala's schools were safe for a while, and then they were unsafe. But they confront a lot of the same issues that girls all over the world confront, which is, do they feel equal? Do they feel strong enough to speak out? At the core of this movie, it's a father and a daughter. The father inspiring her daughter, and the daughter having the courage to speak out. And I think girls all over the world will, and fathers and mothers all over the world will look at it and say, oh, I could learn something from this. I see some of the same types of choices, some of the same types of barriers, and maybe I could be a little bit more courageous. Maybe I could give my daughter a little bit more encouragement.
The Nobel Peace Prize is to be awarded to Malala Yousafzai.
You made an inconvenient truth and you set out the case for global warming, and yet there are still people denying the reality of what you presented in that film. Is it frustrating?
8 years ago, we got very excited because the movie caught people's imagination. And then, global warming and climate change became very much part of the conversation, and then it went backwards for a while, but now it's coming back again. Movies do one part. They can capture people for a moment, and they can get people invested for a moment. But it's really up to the leaders, the people who are doing things, to continue that. I think now there's an overall acceptance that climate change is real and that we're causing it. The third step is now we have to really take action, and that's a really tough existential step. Like, what are we gonna do? Not just the bad guys, but the good guys too. What am I doing enough? That's what a great movie does. Like this, with girls' education, there are 66 million girls who are out of school. What can we do to help that? And I hope that movie nudges people in the right direction. It can't do everything, but it can nudge people in the right direction.